Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
This Saturday, IndieCD.com 3. Your best chance to meet some amazing authors, artists, and other creatives. All at Fowler, Indiana, at the Benton County Annex on 410 South Aidway, site Suite B, Fowler, Indiana, 47944. Come for the wonderful authors, artists, and opportunities to play games. Stay for the food trucks. Beware the Girl Scouts. They will be there. Only through your bribes can they profit. Good morning, Nevermorians. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you over the airwaves on WNTF. Nevermind the Furthermore. Nevermind the Furthermore is brought to you with the love and support of our good friends over at the Independent Creator Directory, IndieCD.org, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, artists, and musicians. We're also made possible sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, all part of our ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to help you, yes, you in particular, go from having never handled a sword to teaching the art to others. And of course, hates and hellfire. A dark secret is claiming 2 lives and is hunting an innocent child at the edge of the Appalachian Mountains. Only his aunt, a plucky reporter, her cameraman, and a very odd cat stand against the forces of darkness. It's time for some coffee. It is Happy Hump Day, all. We are midway through the week and barreling towards the week, and I'm going to see many of you. Hopefully, I'll see more of you than I expect. And even more hopeful than that, I hope to see more people come see you. We are really making a big drive. We've gotten to many radio stations, local news agencies, libraries across the region trying to make this work. So this is one of those where you want to come out, make some bank, have some fun, eat good food, meet good people. But it is Wednesday, and Wednesday means fun drawing time. That's right. You know me, I'm down with the FDT. Now, before I can get into fun drawing time, as the train goes by, I have to give accountability. Yesterday, I was accountable. I made a bit of a jaunt, a journey, if you will, to the far off land of Walkerton, Indiana. Being with a number of stops a man of my age drinking that much Mountain Dew has to make, about 3 hours. Little southwest, just barely of South Bend. And I went to acquire a forge. Now, I will be doing a full video about this for the Historical Fencing Guild channel and for my Patreons as soon as this rain lets up and I can figure it out. But I acquired more than a forge. I acquired the start of a second, so I will have multiple forges available for the local Historical Fencing Guild people, as well as some youths who are going to be Historical Fencing Guild people, to bang away. Also, I've got more coal than the green room at Christmas time in the back of my truck as part of a deal I should dangle. Yeah, I got. And a new large vise. All of this I need to clean up a bit. I may inquire trying to set up a sandblaster of some sort, because that would be nice to just get that rust off. Hit it with some engine paint, make it last forever. I have plans, but that was 3 hours there. Stop, visit my parents who are not feeling well, in that I dropped off soup for them, and then sail on home with the rest of the Chinese for my beloved wife and I, and rice for Sandra. Almost had to raise my. I slightly raised my voice, almost had to raise my hands to some people who were bad-mouthing my favorite restaurant. If you go to Michigan City and you like Chinese food, go down to the Peking restaurant. It is on Route 20, just a little bit east of the 421 intersection in Michigan City, Indiana. Just get yourself some great Chinese food. Just pick it up, get it, and eat it. It's amazing. I've been going there going on 40 years. Sue, the lady who runs it, is a phenomenal woman. She is an angel. May she be blessed by everybody. Everybody needs to bless her. She's just that awesome. I adore that woman. But I'm not sponsored by them. They don't give me any money. She probably doesn't even know I do this, but I do. And I have, because she deserves business. Best Chinese in many, many, many states. And yes, I have checked. I've yet to find a better Chinese food. Period. Yeah. I found good contenders for second place. And it is not buffet, it's takeout. They used to have an absolutely magical store, restaurant where you could dine in, but the world's a cruel place. That being said, we need to build each other up. We need to promote small business. I know there's a lot going on. The world is unstable. I have access to the news begrudgingly, but I can't do anything about that. It's beyond my scope. What I can do is provide a little bit of art, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education, and some silliness in between. All the while, making sure that we are well in order. So, I am going to hop on the comments. We're going to find out what you guys are up to. And then we're going to go into artwork. And since the comments are tolerable, I'm just going to jump into them right away. Let me do this. And we'll see what we can bang our way through to see what we can do. Okay. We lost internet again today. Okay, we lost internet, hoping to make the show today. Well, I hope you make the show as well. I actually got my internet switched over, so hopefully it will be more stable. We are in the interim until they run the cord, and then we are golden. Improvements. That's the reason Xfinity gave. I don't know. There have been outages and weirdness across the board. It's almost like there's major things going on in the world. I wonder. And also, good morning, Carl. And Dan, I understand ours was out for 4 hours during the middle of the night, Sunday into Monday. Whew, we are in business. Yeah, Dan, you can get annoying. And yeah, Dan, good morning. And good morning, Donna, who's greeting Dan and Witchman Dude. And Carl's greeting his lovely wife. And Foxy is wandering in with a Twinkie. My dyslexia floated some of the words around. And just for a second, I thought it was in a Twinkie. And I was a little confused. Oh, joy. I looked at the old teaching briefcase and found the results of my IQ and personality testing. Useful for next Sunday, I bet. Foxy, glad you have a twinkle today. Or was it a Twinkie? I wouldn't mind a Twinkie. Hey, Foxy, haven't had it yet. Probably a little later. Oh, I had a ham and cheese sandwich on toast. And I am working on some coffee. I'm going to have to make more coffee after the show. Gotta love UPS. My delivery that's supposed to be here tomorrow is out for delivery today. Happens sometimes. Foxy, happens all the time with my packages from Cigars International when they use UPS. When they use USPS, lucky they to get here the day they'll say they'll be here. Well, that's because the head of the post office is somebody who is heavily invested in USPS, and they took down what? 5 of the 7 major sorting machines at like Central. They basically ransacked the place because there's a confusion with it being a service versus it going for profit, and our country is wobbly. At least they get to you. Our mail out from all characters has been crappy lately. I understand that, and mostly because going to neighbor houses because the delivery person just looks for 203. Oh no, it's like a treasure hunt. I know what those are like. And at least I'm not my bestie. They have a mile-long backwoods drive that's not big enough for delivery trucks. That's why she farms deliveries out to family or us. I understand that. I grew up in a house that the majority of my growing up was in a house that was quarter-mile long driveway, big sharp turn, and lots of signs informing people that trespassers will be killed, eaten, and composted. Probably in that order. Anyway, morning, Uncle Carl, Aunt Donna, Foxy, and Captain Dan. Good morning, Angelina. How are you, my dear? Angelina, Uncle Carl, maybe this will be the day I remember to catch a Munzie. You never know. Am I saying that right? Catch a Munzie? Or am I thinking Pokemon? I've had important things sent to his folks' house because they don't have that issue. That makes sense. Angelina, I believe it's Cap, as in capture, and Botrix has successfully joined the channel. We don't mind catch either, as long as you play. Hey, actually, you kids and your newfangled words. And don't forget to like and share, folks. Yeah, please. And hey, Nick. Hello, Angelina. I was reading personality test. Aha! I'm so jealous of you who get to see each other this weekend. I just don't have the time. Leave time at work to make it up there. I'll be with you in spirit. Well, hopefully, if since that one's not available, I do hold one. It will be in September, but we are trying to move the date 1 week out so that it doesn't interfere with a major event down here called Dan Patch. So if we could do that, we may do well. And morning, rough morning. Oh, I'm sorry, Don. Let's see what we can do to make Dawn's morning better. Not that! Good God, woman. Don't look at me like that. No, I mean bring up your happy. Babies, Buddy and Georgette, how are you? You having a good time? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Alrighty, and it's shame because we will have a taco truck and no Dawn. The cruelty is unfathomable. But we will do what we can. We will think about you, Angelina, and hope to see you in October. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Sorry the morning isn't being nice. Hope it gets better for your Friday morning. Good morning, folks. Just lurking for now. Got a bunch of stuff to do for the day job today. Oh, no. Working at work? Joseph. That's not the American spirit. Are you at the Radiation Dome today? And nope. Oh. Okay. And lots of greetings for Joe. And what? Beware cursing. If this week, beware of cursing about testing bothers you. Mm-hmm. Wait, are you finally getting actual fiber internet? Eventually. But we've switched to their overhead before the fiber gets dug through. When the fiber gets dug through, we're going to be happy campers. But the guy spent 3 hours doing the installation and actually nicely, he ran the cord instead of letting it wibble around, ran it up and nicely did the cord zip tie management. So while it is a black cord and is relatively visible, it was put up well. And we've done all the stuff from the old company because technically it doesn't exist anymore. So we're doing real well in the Tockert department. Happy hump day, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Happy hump day to all, says Chris Walker. Hope you are having a really good middle of your week. I hope so. Morning, Chris and Joe and Dawn. I'm having a rough morning too. Med adjustments made me tired for last week. No energy to exercise equals more pain. I'm fighting similar. You are not alone. I'm adjusting to the new med. We'll see how it works. Hugs to Angelina. Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris. Stacy is going to work on shirts today. Now's a great time to order if you haven't already. I'll go and say it now. Time lapse. Her babies, and I am caught up. Which means we're going to hear from an ad while I swap over. Alrighty, sorry, I was writing a project that gave me an idea for another project, and heck hath no fury like my game. Now, let's get the music going. I thought I had this all rolling, but I didn't. So we'll go here. We'll go highly energetic particles, thanks to Dan Hallfield. And we need to cut and trim wooden door jambs to cover the gap between new flooring and the carpet office. Probably take it up an hour. You are incredibly talented, Mr. Hallfield. All right, we are here. We are recording a time lapse. I'm doing this. Sorry, I have many things running at the same time because it's that time of year. And I have to terrorize folks. So let me do this. There we are. And that is fixed. Okay, thank you. And I hope I will keep that in mind for the person making the special request. Where's my pen? No, where did my stylus go? It was right there. See, that is problematic. Ah, there it is. Monkey toes. Now, what are we going to do today? How are we feeling? What is moving us? Are we feeling mountainous? Man, I'm not really feeling the mountain jam right now. Okay. Since I don't know, first we'll give ourselves an applicable sky, and we'll keep it simple. And you guys can always follow along. I hope some of you do. Now, I understand most of you don't have this program, so if you want me to do art in another program, just because it might be easier for you to work with, I don't have any version of Photoshop because Adobe and I have some profound philosophical differences. But I have a few other good things going down the pipe, so we could do some stuff. I could even do some artwork in Paint if I have to. But let's see, we got this nice wall here. And I think I do have, as I said, I wasn't feeling mountainous. I'm going to actually give myself another layer and give myself. It's 40 where I want to go this. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna just throw a bit of a mountain here. One of these. Yeah, I like this fella. I'm gonna rough him in and pull him down paint-wise. No comments, no problem. I have to take stock of my funds. Give myself some lighter. Just again, just slop that in there. Does it need to be specific? Just need to get the feel. Because I want just a bit of old-fashioned texture. Nice. We like that. We're liking that. Okay, everyone. Now, one thing I need to get better about is hopping layers. I tend to want to work on only one layer because I have come from a traditional background. But, well, I don't know. Let me see. I'm not really worried about this part because this part's going to be covered. But I have this image and I want to do something like this and pull it down. And I'm just going to pull it down some more. And we're just going to use smooth strokes. Supposed to use your shoulder I always forget. But we kind of want to get this going. I'm giving myself just a little bit of a shoreline. Let's let's give myself some guidance. There we are. This looks good. And we're just going to keep on trucking with this. This is good. I like this. I know it looks odd. Trust the process. Trust the process. Yeah, you know what? We'll just carry this all the way down. We can carry this all the way down. I'm going to make this bigger though. There we are. Don't be afraid to switch to a bigger brush, especially when you're filling in. I don't quite want to just click it and fill it like I could. Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that looking like Rondo's head. Yeah, Yondu. Yeah. Try to turn that into Londo in my head. But yeah, no, I can see that. Me, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm liking this. I know it looks like nothing, but you have to give me a little leeway. That's too fat for what I'm doing. Because I need to be just a bit. We're going to do this. That's a good bit of this. I'm going to pull this down in a minute. I'm not too worried about it. Probably like so. Yep. That way I can mix it up. And I can kind of keep this going over here. I love doing it this way because I could do my art in such a way that it's very telling what I am doing. But sometimes I like to mess with you guys a little bit. Keep you just slightly guessing. Oh! Michael Rooker is absolutely underrated. Incredible actor. I'm still having trouble with the news about Bruce Campbell, to be honest. It just is a thing. Just is a thing. And whenever I'm really upset and I can't do anything about it, I find art helps. So, art is going to help. There we go. I like how that's going. Just soften this just a bit. Make some more process. Now we come here to the airbrush. You want the airbrush? I think we do. Or do we want the pointless? I'm feeling pointless. Let's go. And we'll start here. That's odd. One moment. Delivery truck. I'm sorry. I have Bruce Campbell has some type of cancer. He put it out that it is the treatable, not curable kind. and he has to make some life adjustments. But we're just going to keep this. I'll come back to what we did. This. I seem to have just received a package. I'm not expecting a package yet, but I will always gladly. Who doesn't like a good package? Anyway, let's make this part darker. I'm going to have to work, but I don't know if I want to work over or under. I think I'm going to just work under to do the part I want to do. Told you guys though, I had plans. Look at that. See, we're starting to get a nice little thing. Yeah, he's taking care of things. That's true. I understand. I am very passionate on the subject. Oh, my yellows. Yeah, I'll probably go throw some yellows in there too. Do this in some spots. Like this. Oh, that's nice. Get some. I adore the pointillism brush. I really do. I have to be careful not to overuse it. Let's see. We need a little bit of variety down here. Oh, that's so nice. Doesn't this look like a really neat little river area? Now I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to paint it, and it's going to look like garbage, but I have to understand it's going under stuff. Okay? So, as usual, I ask that you trust the process. Brush. Oh, excuse me. Gray isn't the color I want this water. Let's try this. The pointillism brush, Nikolai? Really? You're opening with the pointillism brush for a river? Bold choice here. Mr. Tockert isn't playing around today. Mr. Tockert has some ideas. And I want to experiment. Since I want to experiment, I'm going to. We'll have to check on this. Let's put that under there. Yep. I'm going to do some stuff. It's going to be good. Let's take some of this and we'll back to our thick oil paint. You got to think about why is the water churning. The water's got to be churning because of rocks. This is very much erratic. We have to get the rocks a little more visible. Yeah, I'm not liking that. What I'm going to do is merge that down. So now these, oops, I'll do that, wrong way, merge that down. Nice. So now, I can add the transition line here. And then what I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to grab my little blending tool, and I'm going to pull it up. Because we just kind of light wiggle. There we are. How's that starting to look? Is that starting to look? Let's see. Oh, Carl saved a mouse. Well, that's cool. And if I didn't mention it because I'm balancing 3 screens and about 12 thoughts, oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. But that's okay. I'm incredibly impressed with anyone who is dealing with cancer and, thriving despite it. There's a lot of kind of hashtag fueled by spite in these parts, and I'm always happy to see it. But now I have to do something whitish. Almost too much. Let me shrink that size down, maybe. Here. That's not bad. One thing, I was really blessed to go on some truly wonderful trips with my parents and see some of the wonders of this world. I wish more people did. Yeah. Well, let's see. Quite a bit darker right there. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's get real dark with it. No. Oh, I like that. That's nice. It needs something. I haven't quite figured out what yet. But actually, let's go here. Let's take airbrush. Let's shrink this way down, get some white. And let's do this right across there. Pull some clouds down just a bit. And lose the entire picture. Whoa! Yes, there's some people who do whole programs and never have to do like their version of a Wilhelm screen. Some truly amazing artists out there. But you're not dealing with them. Doesn't need a bird. It could, a bird. A bird could really benefit this. I like the thought of a bird. What's my pencil out? Yeah, my pencil. Speaking of birds, yesterday I saw a pheasant. I haven't seen a pheasant in a long time, so I did not expect to see a pheasant in Benton County. That looks a little too pterodactyl. Let's rewind that just a bit. So hopefully that. We'll just keep it simple. because there are also a lot of, in the routes that I take, I'm fortunate enough to ski a good number of sandhills. Sandhill cranes, that is. Well, we hope to see you every chance we get on. And it doesn't need to be a convention. There we go. We got some nice birds. We like the birds. The bird was a good idea. Like, okay, I'm adding a line here. I almost want to do something like this. Like this. Okay, that's a great idea. It just needs to be like many times thicker. Hold on. Nope. We're going to go here. And we're going to go here. Like so. And now we're going to go here. Come here, running spray. Dirty this up a bit. Like so. A little bit of rust for this. Here. Go. The lines have to be both straight and orderly, but they have to be kind of uglied up a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. That's an interesting thought. All right. We want a cat? We can throw a cat on there. Oh no! What is Viv doing now? She's selling chicken or fish again. Put some cats on there. Okay. And then we'll get some pie. No, don't like those two dogs. There we go. Put some cats. There you are. We can declare your birthday an unbirthday. There we go. We got some cats. We got some birds. Yeah. Honestly, I like this one. Bit on the simple side. Sometimes simple just works. That's not bad. Simple, a little poignant, little adventurous, a little. Oh, my nose itches. Okay. So we'll come over here. Save as. I wonder what they are thinking as they look out of that. And then we will export the ping. Save the ping. Very painterly mode. I dig that. I like how that painterly mood hit. We will export the time lapse. I'll have to do a bunch of these time lapses again. I want to inform the folks on Dawn's support list. I never I watch everything on there. I just try not to over comment because it's too easy for my big old personality to get, things off site. So I'm always trying to regulate that. And you guys seem to be doing really well. I'm very proud of the friends I have, because we take care of each other very well. Yeah, that's good. 9. Okay. NTF 39 26. Okay, so we got the first one done, and we are not bad. So we'll set up the new one. We will set the time lapse, and then media assets. We will pause the music, and we will run an ad. let's run. I don't have that one yet. Oh, we'll run this one. Alrighty, 1 hour down, 1 picture down. We're not doing bad. I had to pop out. There was a delivery. Now, do we have any comments or requests on the next picture? Or shall I play around? Oh, I fully understand. I just thought it would make you happy to see your ad. And I understand about you needing to be fed by the fuzz buckets. Okay, so we have to peruse just a bit, figure out what I am really in the mood for, art-wise. And, I really do need to figure out how to get better at taking pictures of the moon. I want to get better at taking moon shots. I also have to do a purge on a few of the pictures because a lot of times I'm trying to get copies and maybe I'll do something like that. It's been a bit. Maybe I'll do something like that. Okay, let's get a pencil. Get this. We need music. We need the jams. Where's my tunes at? New Orleans Mud. Alrighty. Comments have fallen basically silent. Reflection here. Oh no, she's hot. I'm in a mood. Oh yeah, phones are really unreliable for long-term long-term storage. I know, but I do it anyway. There we go. Oh, a few neck-based items there. Now I'm just getting into the groove, don't mind me. And I got dorked. I can't fix that up by just rewinding to back before I dorked it. That is the beauty of the undo button. Nose isn't quite right. Well, that's okay. Do this. Shrink it. No, I said shrink it. And rotate it. Just a bit. Just a bit. Okay. Maybe a little bit. Alright. Boom. Now go back to the pencil. This. Right now. No. More. I will be looking for good resources on drawing the lace, because I am not good at drawing lace. And I would like to be better at drawing lace. Now, this is all rugged, I know, but it's nothing I can't clean up. The font perfect. Very into the font. There we are. Sure, let's just remind them my lines around. Now, things I love are complex pieces of jewelry. They always make things so intriguing, but we're just going to work on this. Delicate ears. Yeah, I'm going to have fun with this. I've had drow on the mind, so spiders it is. This will make more sense in a minute. Something like this. Really should go. There we go. On here. Oh no, Nick's drawing hot elf. Well, people like hot elves, so I'm not going to complain about it. this. No, I want this color, dang it. There we go. Yeah, nose tricks are really quite a thing. I can do a little quick talk on nosery if you would like. But now. Oh, this is wrong. The chin is slightly insufficient for the face. There you go. Okay. Eye. Right. From the point of this eye, line towards the middle, line towards out, line towards in. V it. Little d. Sure. Let's give you most of the noses you ever need all the time. Oh, I often want to resize a portion of a drawing or photo. That's easy. Yeah, you can look for your selection area. In this case, I'm using the lasso tool because that lets me take really weird shapes if I want to. Closes it up. Over here, we're going to tell it that we're scale and rotating. And we can do this. We can even flip. Going to scale. We can do a lot of things with this tool set. Add then deselect. If I know what program you're using, we can see if that option is actually in there. But I hate that line. That line was out of control. So something you almost never see me do, I'm going to add a modesty blacker. Now, we're going to add a layer, blend mode multiply, that's some relevance. Yeah, bring the head brush out. I'm just going to start with the hair. Let's see how I like it. I'm trying different approaches. See, just add a layer. I'm going to fill this layer, and I'm going to fill it something like this. There we go. That's going to make my life so much easier. I need to see which which frame I was using now. So let's hide this for just a second. And do that so I get my brush back. This back. Brush is a little too big Okay. No. Not too big. Now we're just going to outline a bit. There we go. Yeah, we're getting there. That got too wild. Now we're just going to rub a thick old brush down. Color pretty la la la. It was at that moment he realized he'd messed up. Well, I don't say that. So this is going to be really interesting piece by the time I'm done. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to go down here. Cut the white in. Anywhere I want white will have to be done on that layer, and that's fine. I need something to a little more control though. There we go. How's that look? Ah, that's not bad. Oh, Koepp Paint Shop Pro. Nothing wrong with that. I like Koepp Paint Shop Pro. Just want. I'm looking for a look, and I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I am definitely going to try. And again, I am chasing a very traditional look using non-traditional tools. I rather like it. It's just going to take some doing. I come back up here, and I'm going to do this. With the tan, just get the start of a good color. I'm going to have to go darker with it, but I'm okay with that. Now, I like that. Yeah, not bad. The hardest trick will be getting her skin tone right. Probably. Let's say how's this? That's actually really not bad. And I'm just right now using another pen because I'm not worrying about texture. In fact, I'm kind of doing the opposite. So I'm giving myself permission to play. And it is so important to do that. It's so important to give yourself permission to play. Now I'm going to have to come in and fix some of the tighter areas, but right now I am just, whoops, we're doing that. Man, see, that's why you let loose your colors a bit. Okay. With it. I just have to sharpen that. There we go. Then, yeah, I'll fix that the other way. Well, like that. Yeah, I like that. They all have, for the most part. I'm trying to think if any of them haven't. I mean, I still think Freedom might not have. And I'm pretty sure Paint.net hasn't. Oh, yes it does. Found it. Now we're going to take here. We are going to go right back to the pen. Do some regrading. Well, I really should probably do. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're on this layer. We're going to airbrush a little bit of red. Actually, let's add another layer of blend mode multiply. That's a great idea. That's the wrong airbrush layer. I need that. Now we're trying just a bit to add red to where either bones or the blood's closer to the surface. Still something I'm working on. So this is one that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to, because I think that might be a little bright. Let's see if I take my blur here, I can blend it and try to vigorously blend away the transition line. Just going to take a lot of work. That's something on my page. Just blend aggressively. Like, Nick, it sounds like you're talking about makeup, not art. One, makeup is art. Two, yeah. There's a lot of truth. If you want to play with skin tones and understand how they work, talk to people who've played a lot with makeup. If you're just, putting essentially makeup on an image that isn't sure. And then I think the worst thing that will happen is I have to hit undo a bunch. So I can lightly explore, Well, I appreciate you guys leaving things. Have fun. We're just kind of grooving along. Yeah. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Not sure where, but we're getting there. Now, I'm not the best at this. That's why I'm doing it, in part. What I'm going to improve is by just spending some time leisurely working at this process. You guys have a great hump day. And another layer, one to multiply. Give me something I can do. There we are. And what we'll do. I almost want to make the rest of her dress white. I'm not sure. I know I have a lot of work to do to get what I want, but I want to just make that brush. Is that too much white? That looks very wedding-y. That's okay. I like it. It's a very nice picture. Here, grab my Zero pen. All the way up top, add a normal layer. don't want to go true black. I just want to line. That line wasn't confident enough, so I have to try it over. Oops, missed it. Could I zoom in? Yes. Do I want to? Not particularly. No. Not do that. I like this. Kind of take some of the softness away. Only kind of. Again, I want a very traditional look. That's way out there. Hold on. Hey, you have a happy hump day. Just been a while since I've gotten this far into the zone. Not bad. What else do we need to do to this? Oh, we need more. A lot of it's just falling in and getting that groove going. Hello, Spy. Spy-O-Tom, how are you? Right now, I'm just doing thumbnail art. Earlier, this is the one I did earlier today. You probably missed it. You can catch it on the rerun. And this is the one I'm working on today. I mean, right now. Might be an hour or two, not real sure. I'm just kind of grooving along. And I hope you're having a good day. If you have any questions or any comments, you have any kind of art requests, Wednesdays, bare minimum, I do 3 pictures for the thumbnails for my talk shows. Sometimes I do a bit more. Sometimes I do a bit less. And then I have to come back later. But, you know what I'm going to do here? No. Oh. There we are. That's what I'm looking for. Don't want to necessarily work in the realms of harshness. This just to give her a bit of a glow. How long have I been drawing? Oh, wow. I've been drawing forever. Like, I started in the late 1900s. No, I've been drawing since I was a kid. And I've done digital and traditional. I've at points been an art instructor for after-school programs. I've had my art published in like 30 different countries back in the day when I was doing stuff for a very specific gaming convention that sadly is no longer with us. You can find some of my stuff on Amazon. In the books I've written. I have a myriad of styles, and I do conventions. So if you happen to be anywhere near the, we'll say the West Central Indiana area or the East Central Illinois area, I'm running a convention in Fowler, Indiana. That's a little much. Where I'll be doing on-site art displays, commissions. I can work from reference. I can work without. Just depends on my mood. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please by all means hit me up. Hope that helps. Yeah. If you go to, let me see if it's, whoops, here. I have some of my older stuff up. I have to do another big upload, but, www.deviantart.com. Well, that should be a dot, not a... Sorry, I'm the worst typist on the planet, though. It's one of my many, many flaws. /Nick T. You should be able to be there. I've been up there over 20 years. So that should get you where you need to go. And which Twitch are you watching on? Let's see. I wonder if I can figure it out. Oh, it could be either. If you're watching on Nick T _artist, that's me. If you're watching on the Independent Creator Directory one, that's a website that, begging your finest pardon. I hate when that does that, so. No. What's that? Trying to remember how to get this back where it needs to go. Well, we're almost done with it, so I'm not too terribly worried. Just can't remember how to put it back. That's all. Oh, I know. Window. Workspace reset to default. Yes. And no, it didn't do what it's supposed to do. Okay, well, we're going to do this. We're going to save as. Awaiting her. Oh, yeah, thank you. Husband. We'll do that. What I'm going to do is there we go. Little file. Open. Let's see if it opens it right. Yay. Okay, cool. Let's lock back in. I typoed that, so file. Save as. Actually, we could change that for awaiting her groom. Which sounds better. Enter. And yeah, I think I'll just sign off on this one. I'll set it up, and I will run an ad real fast. I'll find it. I like this one. But yes, if you have questions, if you have comments, do you have a favorite art style? Let me know. I am very much a varied artist. And be sure to subscribe to wherever you're watching me. Okay, save. Boop. Export single layer. Boop. And time lapse. I will export the time lapse because I like to share these on my YouTube channel. Well, I'll show you the picture. We have a new person named Spyo Tom watching, which I think that's cool. Banged out this picture. I don't know if you got to see it. And we're just going to get ready for the third picture. And we'll see what's going on. Where did my little book? There it is. Stay. Oh yes. Never mind the furthermore. And we will just scoop. Scoop that. Move this one over here. So a little bit more room. I'll make that just a bit bigger today. Oh, I like that. That pleases me. And Wednesday will be the 11th. So, export JPEG NTF 31126. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the 3/4 turn, face, or 1/4 turn. Yeah, I need to practice my walk rounds. But we're going to set up a new one. Zap this, because that has been saved. And we'll do that to the original one in case I need to bring it back up. And that means we do need to do a commercial. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know. Let me stop the music. I'll run probably the big one. So I'll be back in a minute 45. Minute 49, 48, 49. Yeah.
In 1948, a man was found dead on the beach. But he hadn't just washed up. Oh no, he was very nicely propped up against the seawall, very well dressed. But there were no labels in his clothes. They had all been cut out. Very mysterious, the police thought. And then they found, rolled up in his pocket, a piece of paper from a novel that said Tamam Shud. When they finally traced it, it came back to the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. But it got even more strange, because in the back of the book, when they found that it had been torn out of, there was a code, a secret code that has not been cracked to this very day. When they finally found his suitcase, it had a mysterious jumble of items, some which were very hard to explain. Also in the back of the book was the phone number of a very mysterious nurse. What did she have to do with the death of the Somerton man? Find Death and Love Down Under, a novel by Carl Witzman, on Lulu.com in both ebook and print format.
Because I have one more regular Stewart. Buddy. Okay, I'll hand you off in a minute. Hi, guys. I'm still here. I was just getting a drink. And I had some feline intervention. So we're going to take a cat break. Come on. Up you go. Cat breaks are good for the soul. Thank you. We'll make him so you can see my big orange cat. Door. Okay. I still have another picture to do, though, bud. So I can't dawdle here too long. People demand art. Yes, I love you too. Yes, you're a kissy kitty. But, yes, Stuart, we have to be reasonable now. People demand artwork from me. They do. They do indeed. Okay, so I have to do artwork, and then I have to do possibly a custom commission, depending on custom request. Okay, here we go. Good cat. Okay. Hi. Okay. Okay, now you have to go down. You go bye-bye. Go on. Xander, come get Stuart. Don't be grumpy. Here, just come get him. You're not a camera. Come on. I just need to do art. He will not let me art right now. Thank you. Please close the door behind you. Thank you, son. All righty. Thank you for your patience there, folks. We had a cat break. I think those are good for everybody, though. And let's see what we got. Stuart. We demand art. We demand art and cats. Dawn says hi. Find people hardest to draw, which sounds nice. Someone who can draw after someone sees the Hendrix painting, but it's true. Just because you can do something, and sometimes just because you can do it well, does not mean it's easy for you. I have some truly amazing friends who are kind enough to send me pictures to use as art reference. And I've been doing it a long time. I'm still more of an anime artist. Oh, I need to put the music back on, or else I'll start humming or worse, singing, which nobody wants me to sing. Okay, that's a commercial. I mean, before I had a couple of those. I'm jumping to Nature Walk because I feel chill. Okay. There we go. Nice, chill picture. I'm not seeing a lot of requests. But yeah, I draw a lot of people. And I like to draw interesting looking people. So it's, I don't just have one body type or, gender. I draw anybody who catches my eye. So you never know. I could do a Friday sketch dome. You could do a Friday sketch dome. But let's go back to something I like to sketch. We'll just see. And I do hope some folks get to follow along. Now, I am always studying, so I'm always watching shows on YouTube that have better artists than me or more accomplished artists than me. I accidentally changed my color by tapping it. I want the dark back. But I've developed a couple methods for simplifying things that help. I started a little low, as I always do. I mean, I am all about the Hollywood shot, but when you break the body into pieces, this is my loudest fork. Anyway, you end up with pieces you can manage. So you have basically this rib cage part, you have the pelvic part, then you can take big shapes. For anyone having trouble, I can do this way. And I'm deliberately not fully assigning pieces. I haven't said what this person's gender is yet. And I've deliberately drawn them rather androgynously. And there are a whole bunch of anatomy shortcuts and rules, which I need to write them all down in order, or a bunch of them in order, so I can keep track. But if we do something relatively, did I start my time lapse? I bet I didn't. Nope, I didn't. But that's okay. This is just doodling. Things that help. I like the Loomis method. I'm a big fan of that. But then I kind of tweaked it. For some reason, somebody not having ears freaks me out. Sorry. So I'm just going to leave this person floating here for a second. Usually, male torsos, at least bone-wise, start out wider. And again, we are doing real anatomy. This is just enough to understand what's going on. Okay. And then the male pelvis is usually narrower. Okay. Often, but not always, the jaw is squarer. And of course, all of these are not defining things. These are shortcuts that make it easier. Well, the ball joint figures aren't bad. There are better things to be found, especially if you're willing to 3D print your own. But I've raised him up. Those knees are way too short, so we're just going to get rid of those knees real quick. Elbow, shoulder joint. Elbow should be right around the natural waist and should hit somewhere along the limb. I'm making my hands too big, but that's okay. Along the thigh, above the knee. Now, the reason I am doing this way is one thing I get a lot of people kind of come at me about for help is male v female. So women, again, not always, and I am referring to the skeletal structure of a female presenting person. I don't want people yelling at me about, I don't want people misunderstanding my intentions here. This is simplified art, and there are always body type exceptions, but these are the general rules. They tend to have wider hips because the pelvic bones are wider. There should be collarbones, but I'm really not tracking that so far. Muscularly, that often gives you a pinched in waist, where men usually have a more trapezoidal waist. Okay? I mean, everybody's torso can become bean. The bean is amazing for understanding and drawing torsos. Okay? But tweaking the bean makes it a little easier. And again, I'm not doing anything overt. I'm just giving you skeletal options. And women's skulls tend to be smaller and more slight, often with more pointed jawline. Okay? Understanding these. Well, I mean, like, I'm keeping things incredibly simplified. But the elbow's still hitting the same place. Okay? Oftentimes, you may have a so-called hip dip. You may not. It just depends on skeletal structure and musculature. You may also have slight more bend in the femur. So you're going to have this very often something more akin to this in stance than you do in men. Now this isn't a neutral gait. We can do a beam and then kind of park it in a pelvis. And from there we can do all sorts of things, okay? I have to be if it seems like I'm being very careful, it's because I'm being very careful around YouTube standards. Okay? But this is good warm up for a practice that I may do after this, because I have a very specific request. But we're just gonna sit over here and make a fairly interesting pose because I've put all the effort to throw a person up. Okay? Now, this looks slightly morbid, I understand that, but it's also very, very educational. I encourage you guys to look at medical books. Now, you can study and memorize what muscles are what, how they bend and fold over the human body. And I heartily encourage you to do that if you can. I know with the way my mind works that doesn't always work well for me. And that's fine. So the reason we want to learn rules like this, guys, is to establish an artistic median sort of an average build for your art style, so that when you want to do art, you can then say, okay, this is the median. If I want to play with it, I can push it. I can, instead of like, if a quote unquote normal torso looks something like this, okay, I can really beef the dude and make him almost a Johnny Bravo kind of build, you know? Or I can make him a little skinny dude. Get some slender action. But it's hard to do this without having this. Think of this as sort of the 0 points on extremes. So another good one to think of, and I'll come over here, we have a fairly standard female torso hip area, right? Not exceptionally accepted, not, too much. and I'll do this just to give you guys, keep the pressure on. If I wanted to do the classic Pixar mom, I might do something as far as, narrowing the top while widening the hip area. And that gives you your build, okay? Now, everybody's artistic median is going to be different. Everybody has a different average. And that has to do with your style, your preferences, what you reference. But this is how you start to build out. There's a lot of cognitive sculpture that goes into a picture. Okay? We're just going to do this. And we're going to make her probably a knees and elbows kind of teen tween. There you go. Just coming out of knees and elbows. You know what I'm saying? I'm widening just a bit. We'll even give her the socks. There we go. But by playing with it, you get different proportions. You get different character ideals. And this lets you have, sketchbooks and things full of little doodles like this. And this is one of the best things you can do is they don't even have to be big. They don't have to take long. Just do little sketches, little tiny speed doodles. Develop, poses. Start to play with it. By tinkering, you learn. Humans learn by play, guys. We really, really learn by play. And from here, you can then build. And you can thicken a character or thin a character out. You just need the roughest of a baseline. Does that make sense to you guys? I'm hoping this is educational. It's a little weaving. It's a little off, but this is a good part on how to start building characters and just figures. If you do better stick men, one thing I've heard is all I can do is draw a stick man. Okay, I'm going to do this. And and that evolution. So if you go, here's a stick man. Yay! And for me, it's almost hard to draw a stick man like that because I already see the problems. But then you start thinking in terms of heads. How many heads tall is my stick man? That's a great thing. Real life, most people are about 5.5 heads. 6.5 or 7 looks really good in most art. You go higher and you run into like superhero proportions. But you give your stick man tall elbows, a waist, simple flat feet, and you can start to tweak them. You can start to make them do things. And then from the stickman phase, you might jump straight to drawing the bean. Here's the bean. The bean is good. I'm going to put the head here, add a little bit backside here, pull down, and now we've got somebody doing like yoga. I like to live about here most of the time when I'm just doodling around and playing with poses. Especially if I'm doing a large group of people. If I'm doing a scene where there's a large group, I'm going to do a bunch of these dudes right here. Let's see what this guy doing. Okay, maybe he's... Oh. Reading the newspaper. And maybe we'll do a her. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Oops, I don't like that line though. She's reading on her phone. I'll give her some longer hair, maybe a hat. She looks like she's wearing a hat. Fine. And she's sitting. She's doing one of these sits. And that means they're both on like a bench. They're on a bench. And you see how easy it is now to start figuring out characterization? Because we think in terms of body language. So if we start sketching in terms of body language, it's like this guy has no face, right? This guy has no face. I'm just doing that for... Oh, a lot of times you'll see me keep the spine. That is because I'm trying to figure out how I want the weight to be balanced. Okay? I'll just do this. That's just me making sure the weight is balanced. Okay? Now, look, this guy's just got Jinkos on. Yeah, I'm dating myself. I don't care. You can tell this person is being chewed out. For whatever reason, they're getting yelled at. Because that's all you need for body language. Don't let it scare you by chasing perfection. Chase practice and understanding. Okay? I hope this is answering a couple of questions that are coming in. Okay. Now I got asked how to do a face in anime / manga style. Okay, so we're going to work on our, again, artistic medium. Because people will always go, well, how do I find my style? Where you go from an artistic medium? So to do a face, we're going to use a version of the Loomis method, but not quite. So we're going to do a circle, right? That is a very sloppy, staggery circle, but it works. We're going to cut it in half, and we're going to cut it in half. Okay? This isn't too hard. About a quarter of the way, we're going to put another one down. This dot is roughly the space from that. Now, what we could do is pull straight down from here so we're level with that. We end up with this kite shape. Now, yes, we can very much play with these angles and lengths. This is just as close to the median as we can. Now, we're going to put roughly an eye width apart, and it should be an eye width on the side, but we're making it bigger. And that's because we want that anime, big anime eyes. That line can tell you exactly where you want to stop your eyes for consistency. Okay? This is all to build consistency. Take half that. That's the peak of where the eyebrows are. The bottom of the circle is where your mouth is living. From halfway between the eyes to anywhere from halfway there becomes the nose. A lot of times an anime nose can be either just a little angle, this little bow, like you're drawing a little bow, and then just come straight down. It may just have some slashes to indicate texture and then a little curve. This is another way. These are other ways to do noses. Men's tend to be more angular, like that. Here goes middle of the eye to just above the top of where the mouth would be. Now, this is your head, but this is without hair. Hair does whatever hair is going to do. Middle of eyes, middle of eyes. See, that one's floating. This is giving you a rough idea on how to do an anime face. Curve, curve. And then hair, there's some rules. Hair always starts going that way, and it likes to go away from a part. And you have to decide on, is it stiff and or curly enough to be supported out, or is gravity going to pull it down? So, real popular simple one is a middle part, make an M, mirror that M on the back, and then just curve it. Very simple hair. That could be a basis for anybody's hair. Okay? Oh, the eye. Light line that goes almost to the middle, dot for the pupil. Now we're going to play with this a lot, but this is like the most bonehead, simple version. Oh, close the hairline up, and then throw some bikini. This is early. This is late '90s, early aughts. So it will look. When you come back with your ink pen or your marker, you only need to cover the lines that you like. Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to be smarter than this. Okay? I'm going to add myself another layer. we go. Boom. And again, this is very simple. You're rarely going to draw default character, A over here. But this is how you start to learn the rules so that you can immediately learn to break the rules to get the effect you want. Okay? And we'll extend that M. Whoops. What happened there? Let me do that. There we go. We'll extend that M just a little bit to give him a little main character energy. Just a bit. Neck. So, if I close that up and I close that up, when we hide this, we now have a decent looking anime head. It's very generic, and I understand that, but that's literally the point. So if we understand the relevant features, okay, we can start to look, okay, how would the forehead go from the side? It goes down to the eyebrow, curves in for the eye, the nose sticks out, the mouth, the chin. And the chin's going to go back real similar to this, to half this line here. About half to a quarter of an eye width here is the eye. And we're going to make the pupil flat. And yeah. Now, why are we doing this so simply? Because you learn simple first. Remember that M? Take half of it and go, woo. Add another one just for depth. And curl it around. Middle of eye. That comes down. A little behind the ear. That comes down. I'm going to add some jiggies just to get jiggy with it. This is not complex. This is simple. Hey, you take a trip if you need to. Okay? Very simple, but this is all very doable. Okay? This is sort of a generic quasi-shaggy looking character. That's fine. This is how you get started. I don't want to bombard you. I want you to have just the little pieces and then practice the little pieces. Okay? So we're going to give ourselves a new one, and we'll just hide that. And we can start on the picture. I still need to do a formal picture. I'll have to admit, I kind of almost want to clean this up and just use it. It would be very confusing, but it could be construed as morbid, and we don't need morbid. So I need a picture before I do something else. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Okay, I want... Okay. Let's work on a character. Now I'm going face out. Rough sketches. That's not how I wanted him. I wanted him that way. So I'm going to fight it a little bit. It's not wanting to do what I want it to do. So I'm going to say, fine. I'll get in there and fight it a little bit. Sometimes you have to. Middle of the eye over here, behind the ear roughly is there. That gives me a neck. Okay. Now, I need to look at something, so give me a second. Thank you. Albums, camera. Okay, I took a reference picture. Here we go. I have a reference picture that was done by my son. So we're going to play with that. Good morning, Cat. Good morning. We absolutely have had fun. I took a break to do an introduction to drawing anime. Let me hide this real quick. And show it, because I had some questions come through about body proportions and then how to do a face. And we've just been having a grand old time today. I'll show you the other art I did. But, there we go. Right now, I had a request. And the request that I guess I'm working on, let me see if I can find him. Is he still there? Was to animify this guy. The artist who did this lovely picture is my son Alexander. That is his personal style, which is very Minecrafty, as he describes it. But he wants me to draw it a little more anime. Now, I know it will take several tries to possibly get what he wants. I have, just for my ease, the picture pulled up on my phone. And I'm going to make it as big as I can to see the details. This was done on the whiteboard. If you have perfection issues, if you are ever worried about how you're going to do a picture, that's fine. Whiteboards are wonderful, especially if you don't have access to digital, because you just use them and use them and use them. If you're just getting into art, this is a great. He wants a specific pose too. He wants a specific pose, and that's not the pose. Well, okay. I'm going to work here and get the character figured out, and then I'll redraw it later in the pose that's requested. Because first I want to get a feel for the character. And bonus points to the people who can guess the influences on this character. Designed, oh man. Okay, we're going to do this. The eyebrow got a little out away from me. Will you shrink down to a manageable size? Thank you. This is all, again, quick ref. Now, I'm not using the construction lines I showed you because I've memorized most of it. Now we're going to go here. And let's see. Split here. And the rest of the hair is going to be kind of like a sea anemone. Okay. I can make that happen. Again, very classic early aughts, turn of the 19th century character. Those could be longer. Let's make them longer. I think that's about where he said he had them. Now, I'm going to work on putting in his vest. Now, like I said, I will have to repose it. But I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. I'm going to make him in a very thinking pose. Very neutral, very classic. Thinking pose. I'm going to tweak his face a bit, but remember, this is just the equivalent of a pencil. This is not, the final work in any way, shape, or form. Now, this one.
Excuse me, but
Yes?
picture of the pose of my D&D character that you designed was doing a different pose.
I know. What I'm doing is, like I was saying, is I am working out how the character feels, get him drawn, and then I can put him in a specific pose.
Oh,
All right? So it's going to take a couple tries. Requesting commission work can be very exacting, but that's okay. And I am still trying to keep him. That leg needs to be a little more forward because he's obviously, you can't see his boots. So we'll have to work on his boots in a bit. But as you can see, very simple. Now, I know he's supposed to be in a pose that basically looks something like this. And he probably will when I get in there. But I'm making sure that I like the design first. And this is a lot of how I will actually develop a character. If I'm doing one that I will be doing for some time, I'll put him in whatever pose just feels natural at the moment, and I will tinker. Like right now, that eye isn't where I want it. Now, I normally would just erase and redo it, but I happen to know Alexander really gets a kick out of me doing this. So I am going to take it. And okay, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to, because it does need to be a bit bigger. We'll do it that way. We'll inch it up because it's such a small piece. There we go. I got there. Okay, and move. Now it's not perfect, but again, this is pencils. See, I knew I missed a part. This is supposed to be a coat. And I can add that pretty easy. But I missed something on the prompt. Now, that's not quite right, so I'm going to undo that. And like I said, I like to show you because it should be here, and then collar. We can leave the pocket there. The lapel. There we go. That's a bit better. Now, I'm going to darken this up a bit. And we'll say you can see just a bit of his boots. He has big boots. They're there, trust me. Okay? So, I've done this. Can I turn this into roughly this pose? Yeah, should be able to. It needs to do some things, though. And again, there's a lot of extra transformation going on solely because I And then my son gets a kick out watching me do it, and he's watching the stream. Which is a big part of why I ask you guys to be fairly well behaved on my streams. There's always a chance kids are watching. Okay, now, there we are. Oh, we got some comments I've been ignoring because it... Oh, you are much appreciated. And thank you. And I'm glad there are greetings for everybody. Yes, Alexander's character has to introduce himself to you. That's kind of how it works. Wow, the concept just made me fun. No, but that's really how it works when I'm dealing with a character, especially one that I'm drawing with intention. So I need to take his body and do this, and I just need to rotate him just a bit. Make him a bit more upright. Up it right back. Now I'm gonna have to move him around to do stuff with his hair anyway, so I'm not real worried. Okay. Upright. Cool. Kind of dock him in. Okay. He wants to be a little more confident. We can fix that. Now, and again, because we're still on the pencils. Not a thing counts till we hit the inks. Now, as I recall, his boots are a little hard to see, but they're going to look something like this. And I'm going to have to shrink him again. Because of course I am. There. Now, I will probably be redrawing this character again and again for a while, so this is just the preliminaries. Now I have the room to do what I need to do. Now, he has kind of these super Doc Martin looking shoes. Okay. These are not boots I normally draw, so you'll have to bear with me as I figure out how they essentially work. Boom. Boom. One thing you guys are getting as a sort of bonus is a bit of the process that goes into me designing somebody else's character. Now, if you want me to do something similar to this for you, live and person, I will be doing art commissions on site where I do basically art caricatures. I do it every year for the kids at the library and at the conventions. I do that unless I'm doing something else like running a game, which I will probably be doing. So we have that. Now, as you heard, he doesn't want. No, he wants, and I have to go, hold on, because I have, those are pictures of my cat, the pose. He wants a very distinct pose, so he can get the very distinct pose that he wants. I mean, I don't, this is not a paid one, this is a request, but it's a request from family. So we're going down. And we'll do this. And like so. And am I going to have to shrink him again? Maybe, we'll see. This is the pose that he wants. And he wants it, so he'll get it. There we go. And again, this is the blues. This is... Just gonna bang this out for you, bud. And I'm going to have to fix that hand, but that's a placeholder hand. We'll just go here. That seems to be spot where we're supposed to be. That's the pose he wants. That arm's a little big. More bad habits I get into doing digital art. I get to do things like rotate the arms and resize them. Get it to fit better. There. Roughly what he's looking for. Very close to what he's looking for. So we're going to call that. You're going to just reattach the pants here. I'm going to put his version of a holy mace, which in this case is very Morningstar coded, because that's what his character likes. Well, that spike's stuck in the ground. We'll just do a bunch of spikes. One-handed, so we just add a handle real quick. There we go. Normally I would put him in armor, but there we are. Now, this is a first version. Not bad. Not bad. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to run an ad. I'm going to have something to drink, and then we'll get into inking it. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to pause. And I do pause every 15 minutes or a half hour or so to promote really great people. Here's one that if you can sing along.
It's time to scan, that is the plan, with Carl and Dawn to catch a fawn or unicorn. We're so forlorn, we got a Koepp, so here's our rep. Munsey, we want to Munsey, because we want some points and funny badges with our modern cell phone gadgets. Munsey, we've got to Munsey. Download that app and help us Koepp, and you can play it too. Munsey is good exercise, good for your heart and for your thighs. Dawn is such a lovely lass. Come on, Dawn, get off your chair. Munsey, we want to Munsey, because we want some points and funny badges with our modern cell phone gadgets. Munsey, we got to Munsey. Download that app and help us Koepp, and you can play it too.
Okay, so this is lined up. You want the hand higher, and you want me to draw magic.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that.
And the other hand is about to do this.
Okay, well, that's what I did.
All right.
That good?
Yeah.
It matches? It matches?
And the foot was doing a different direction.
The foot was doing different. Oh, you want the foot that way?
Yeah, that's because
Okay.
I was putting all the different chunks of the poses from characters together.
Okay, we can make that work. I can fix that. Alrighty. Now, this may seem like a lot, but I am incredibly happy right now because there we go. Ooh. And he wants this a little higher. I just have to be careful to make sure that the angles stay where they need to stay so it doesn't look like he's doing anything wrong. He wants it like this. Okay. And he probably wants me to do some magic effect. Okay. That's not a problem. So that's good. That's good. Since I don't know what the magic effect looks like, we'll just do something like this for now. As a placeholder. And we'll close this up. Now, he got me before I inked it, so it's real easy to fix. We'll put some music back on. And, oh, they got to say chair. Had to get back to my phone. I understand. I was getting iteration notes from my son. All right. So we're going to add that. You go into my Zero pen, black. And I need to turn the music back on, but I need something a little poppier. Let's try this one. Oh, wait. I can come down here and pull the opacity way down to make it very easy for me to basically control it. Now we're supposed to be with it. That's a little strong. Let's see. Not bad. Now I'm making a few stylistic decisions as I go, which is fine. I am prone to do such things. Do that. A little long dangly hair, if that's what he wants. A little bit of that, a little bit of sideburn over there. I'll power those ears. Now, we're going to pull this off. I'm rather pleased with myself because I've been working very hard to get myself to slow down just a little bit. Now this is Xander's D&D character, which is a hybrid of several of his favorite isekai heroes. Which is why he's being very specific about the traits. Now, Xander's speech is incredibly important to me because it was many years before we heard it. He was considered nonverbal. And as I tell him, he had to work very hard for his words. Now, you may note I am using thicker lines than usual. There is a reason for that. I happen to know that after this is done, there may be a request. Awesome, Dan. Great minds. For a print of this for Roman. That should go a little lower. So we're going to fix that. So I want this to be easy for him to draw from when he's looking at his own styles, and for him to color prints of if he is so inclined. That doesn't mean I'm sabotaging the quality. That means I'm using a specific style. And I don't really think there's any better feeling for an artist or craftsman, which I'm a little above, than for doing something for the joy and enjoyment, maybe education even, of someone I love. I got to make that hand a little higher. There we go. We're going to do this. I'm pulling the hand down just a bit because the angles weren't right. This is a very... It's like, Nick, are you having trouble drawing hands? Yes. I always have trouble drawing hands. I need to work on that. But, let's see. Yep. Now what I did, and I realize you can't see on screen, was I put my thumb and index finger and I measured the length of, can you see this? Yeah, this arm, the elbow, from this elbow line to this arm. And what I discovered was pretty much spot on. Now, do that. Coming down here. I need to go back to the original picture. Hope it went the wrong way. There we go. He did really good on this picture for what he was trying to convey. Oops. Which is fairly complex. So I'm trying again to keep with the prompt best I can. So that, go right back to black. I'm going to keep this one in black and white because the prompt was in black and white. But I should see if I can find the right color. Okay. Nice and easy. We're big fans of Drawfee around here, but we have to be careful because sometimes they get a little inappropriate. And that's okay. Then we watch something else, and we try for another string. Right now I'm doing the laces, which are actually rather tricky, but I think that one came out pretty well. So now I just have to do the other one could be relatively the same. Fortunately, I've bought a lot of boots over the years. So, if I get quiet, I try not to. But if I get quiet, that means I am hyper-focused on what I am doing, which is not the worst thing in the world to be. There we go. That. Now we just go. Get his little spiked mace thing going, which to anybody who's, yes, it is slightly oversized. It is oversized for a visual effect because it looks cool. And sometimes, just want to look cool, you know? You just want a big, oversized solution to a great many problems. And that's what this mace is. It's technically a morning star. But Sandra was very particular. He wanted this character done in a very particular way. And he wanted it I'm going to add the pockets that should be there. There we go. Well, bye, Dan. Or bye, Cat. You have a wonderful day. Okay, how is that? Oh, he needs his healing spell. Okay, so... Since I don't know what his healing spell looks like, I'm going to give a generic spell effect. Like that. That looks like a spell effect. And now I have to do the little things I do.
The healing spell, Dad, is the same as the spell from the great cleric that Luciel did.
I know, but I can't remember what that looks like. Do you want me to look that up?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I will see what I can do. Okay. So now I am Lucio. The Great Cleric Healing Spell Images. Oh, that's not a spell, that's a drop of coffee. Is there an image of him actually doing his healing spell? I don't see it. So we'll, like I said, we'll do our own. We'll do our own variant. Actually, here, I'll have to go look to do something else, but if he doesn't like this version, that's fine. We'll just do this. We'll keep it simpler. We'll make it glowy light, like this, because I know his healing spells. There you go. Custom healing spell design. Now, do this. just do the outlining to make him pop. Check this on just a bit. That's a little hair color difference. There we go. Now, yeah, now I'm just darkening the outer bits to make it look a touch more poppy, a touch more three-dimensional. This. There we go. And it will also mean he's closed up nice. So I can hide that. I'm going to take the shapes. I'm going to come straight down to my box. I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to go just like this on the new layer. To make it easier to print this. And we'll just where I'm controlled a bit. I've been popping right out. I love that look. Now let's see, how much of my screen is that actually taking? Oh, I can work with that. I can work with that. Okay. We're almost done with this one. Because I need a full color work up that, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm keeping it black and white so it is easy to crop and print later. I will sign on the bottom for him. Now, anyone else may not know what happened with this image, but you guys know. And that's important. Because that tells you the other really important thing to do about commissions. When you guys are doing a commission, guys, you are doing it for your client. They have to like it. Sometimes it's easier for them to like it than it is for you to like it. Okay, so we have this, and we are going to save as Xander's D&D character. That's just the RPG, because he may change different systems. Oh, I finally got my first bot of the day over on Twitch. I'm so proud. Alrighty. We're going to save that. Okay. We are going... This is so funny. Then we are going to export a really strange time lapse. To show all the way of discussion that we went through this. Oh, my nose is itching. Okay, now. We're going to do that. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. Go. Never mind the furthermore. And please remember, guys, if you want, I will, for pay, do live commissions in my style on just about any of my streams. And then we will export this as a JPEG. It's already set up. NTF 313, I believe. 26. Yep. Okay. Now, we're going to do something a little different. Normally, this would be the end of things, but I think that will print okay for what I want to do. So we'll go here and we will say dismiss, file, export single layer, PNG. In real close to 8.5 by 11. I have to eyeball that. But that should print well. Which delights me. Okay. So what we're going to do here is let's look at our recent pictures, shall we? I did Awaiting Her Groom, which I think came out rather well. And I wonder what they're thinking as they look out. About the two cats that are looking out over the railing. I think this was a very good, very educational day. Thank you guys. We had some great questions. Let's cut the music. Go full screen. Well, nope, that way. All right, guys. Pardon me. We will, I'm going to run an ad or two. Actually, I think I'll just run one ad and then we'll wrap it up, barring anything else important. So, last ad of the day.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my Rock and Roll Art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
All right, guys. I'm all about letting all of you art. You guys are wonderful folks. You're creative. You're incredible. We only have a few days till the convention. I have a huge amount of work to do. So, guys, keep writing, keep drawing, keep creating. As long as you do, you can edit it, you can improve it, but you cannot edit a blank page. I love you. I really do. And you should too. See y'all Friday, if not sooner. Toodles.